ما شاء الله فاز أحسن سعيد ما شاء الله من الأحكام طريقتنا الصحبة والخير في الجمعية. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فسيحوا في الأرض. صدق الله العظيم. Allah Azze ve Celle seyahat eden yeryüzünde Allah Azze ve Celle'nin mülkünü görün.
Allah Almighty says, travel through the lands and the dominion of Allah Almighty on the surface of this world, so that you may see Allah Almighty's dominion.
İbret alın, faydalanın.
Travel through the dominion of Allah Almighty on the surface of this world, so that you may see, that you may learn and take a wisdom from what you see.
İnsanlara fayda erin diyor.
And may you see, may you learn from your travels, and may you take a lesson so that it may be a benefit and a blessing for you and for your people.
Seyahat içinde şimdi iki çeşit seyahat var.
There are different ways or purposes of why one travels.
Dünya için seyahat.
You may travel for the sake of this world.
Nefsin için seyahat var.
You may travel for the sake of your ego.
Allah rızası için.
But there's also to travel for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Seyahat var. İnşallah Allah rızası için.
And we intend to make this journey to be a journey for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Yola çıkacağız inşallah bu uzak yerlere bu defa.
And we will be embarking on a journey to remote places in the Far East.
Bu yerler Müslüman da var, Müslüman olmayan da var.
In those places there are Muslims and there are also non-Muslims.
Bu Şeyh Baba'nın, Şeyh Anne'nin insanları kalplerini bu yola toplamış.
To the places where we will be traveling, we will be meeting people whose hearts Mawlana Shaykh Nazim collected, and we will be meeting those people who Mawlana Shaykh Nazim directed to this way.
O yolda devam ediyorlar.
And those people are continuing what Mawlana Shaykh Nazim showed them, and they continue to progress on this way.
Güzel tohumlar büyüyor.
They are the seeds Mawlana Shaykh Nazim planted, and those seeds, they have grown and they are spreading.
Çoğalıyor. İnsanlığa fayda oluyor.
And they are turning into benefit for humanity.
Bu yol Allah yoludur.
This way we follow is the way of Allah Almighty.
Allah Azze ve Celle'nin insanlara bir nimetidir.
And this is a divine favor by Allah Almighty to humanity.
Tabi dediğimiz gibi Müslümanlar da var ama insanoğlu bazen yoldan da çıkıyor veya bazı şeyleri.
But as we said, there are Muslims and non-Muslims there, and sometimes people leave the right way.
Uymuyor kendisine.
Or they do no longer follow the right way because that way doesn't suit them.
Allah'a şükür tarikat, şeriat aynıdır beraber.
And we are thankful that we continue to follow this way. And the tariqah we follow is one with the Sharia. Tariqah and the Sharia, they are one.
O yolu göstermek için seyahatimiz onun için oluyor inşallah.
And we embark on this journey, on this tour to the Far East, in order to show the way of Allah Almighty, to teach and demonstrate the Tariqah and Sharia.
Fayda olur bize de onlara da.
May this be to our own benefit and blessing, and to the benefit and blessing of those people who will be visiting now.
Çünkü dediğimiz gibi insanoğlu ahiret için yaşıyor.
As we said, we should be living for the hereafter.
Ahiretin çiftliği dünyadır.
And the farm of the hereafter is this world. We will reap what we sow in this world.
Burada ne ekersen orada bulursun.
And whatever we plant in this world, we will be reaping in the hereafter.
Allah'a şükür çok dünyaya dalmış insanlar, dünyadan başka şey düşünmeyen insanlar.
Whatever we plant in this world, we will be harvesting in the hereafter. But people, they are no longer concerned about the hereafter. All they focus on is this world.
Bu vesileyle uyanmışlar, Allah yoluna devam etmişler. Allah yoluna devam etmişler. Dünyaya ehemmiyet vermemişler.
But that is why one needs to be reminded to follow the way of Allah Almighty constantly, to not be deceived by this world and to not be lost in following this world, but to focus on the hereafter and to live for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Dünyayı Allah rızası için kullanmışlar.
And thus one may use this world as a means in order to obtain the satisfaction of Allah Almighty.
O da lazımdır. Sırf dünya için değil de onu hatırlatmak için. Fezekkir inne zikraten fe'al mu'minin.
And this world should not be used just for the sake of this world, but this world is also a means to remind oneself of Allah Almighty, and this world is a means also to gain the pleasure of Allah Almighty if one lives for the sake of Allah Almighty.
Hatırlat diyor Allah Azze ve Celle.
And it is a command by Allah Almighty to remind people of Allah Almighty.
Hatırlatmak fayda olur.
It is a blessing to remind people of Allah Almighty.
Menfaat olur insanlara. Onun için inşallah Allah muvaffak eylesin.
And we are intending to make this journey in order to remind people of Allah Almighty, and may therefore this journey be a blessed journey.
Hem yani insanları hidayete, İslam'a girmelerine vesile olsun.
May this journey be the means for a new people to find the way of Islam and to follow the right way.
İnsanlara da ahireti hatırlatmak için,
And may this journey be for the sake of reminding people of the hereafter.
kalplerini nurlanmak için inşallah.
May this journey be for the sake of enlightening people's hearts.
Faydamız olur inşallah.
And may this journey be the means so that Allah Almighty makes us the means in order for people to benefit.
Fayda bizim hiçbir şeyimiz yok.
We ourselves, we don't have anything to offer.
Meşahilerin yoludur, onların vesilesiyle, onların
We represent the way of our sheikhs, and we forward what our sheikhs give, and it is through their means.
nazarıyla bu güzel yol dünyanın her tarafında nur olarak,
And it is through their means that this beautiful way has spread throughout the entire world as a light, and it is through their spiritual gaze that this light shines forth throughout the entire world.
İslam nuru olarak insanlara, kalplerine yetişiyor inşallah.
And that light is the light of Islam. They are spreading, and this light reaches people's hearts throughout the entire world.
Allah hepinizden razı olsun.
May Allah Almighty be pleased with you all.
Bu doğru yola daha fazla insan gelsin.
And may more and more people come to this right way.
Çünkü şeytanın yolu daha kolay, nefsin için
The way of shaitan is easier to follow for the ego,
daha kolay gözüküyor.
but it is only an appearance. It appears to be easy for the ego,
Ama kolaylığı iyi değil.
but in reality it is not easy. In reality, the way of shaitan is a bad way.
Kolaylık nefsine tabi olan insan nefsiyle beraber olur.
Those who follow their egos, they will be doomed to be with their egos.
Allah Azze ve Celle yoluna giden insan
Those, however, who follow the way of Allah Almighty,
kazanmış olur. Allah onlardan eylesin hepimizi.
they are the ones who will be saved, and may Allah Almighty make us to be those who follow the way of Allah Almighty and are with Allah Almighty.
Ve minallah tevfik. El Fatiha.